sometimes ask yourself, who is this guy? You're seeing me on your newsfeed, you're seeing me maybe in ads, you're seeing me on pages, you're seeing me everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere. I'm everywhere. Who is this guy? So we're going to talk about that in a second, but first this. My name is Jean-Serge Gagnon, and I help entrepreneurs like you generate residual income from digital course strategies. And you know, when you have to introduce yourself, when you have to tell your audience who you are, you might be wondering, what do I talk about, right? Do I talk about my family? Do I talk about my successes, my failures, my financial, ups and downs? Do I talk about my jobs? Do I talk about just the business I'm building, the brand I'm trying to do? Do I talk about just social media, just the product I'm trying to sell? Like my family, my upbringing, where I grew up, what school I went to? Like, what do you talk about? What am I going to tell you about me, right? And I think one of the answers to that question is it depends on your audience and what your target market is, right? What are you trying to accomplish? But if you're trying to build a personal brand, if you're trying to build a brand that's around you, the person you are, then there's a lot of your personal stuff that you should be telling people about it. And I'm not saying that you dish out every single problem you had, you talk about how awful your childhood was, all these things. That's not what I mean. What I mean is you talk a bit about the different parts of a person's life, right? You talk about, maybe where you grew up, you talk about what kind of school you did, maybe you talk about your family, your relationship a little bit, you talk about your job, you talk about your business you're building, you talk about pretty much everything around you, who you are, what you do, what it's all about. And if you're wondering that about me, then that's great, because I'm just going to cover that. But before I do that too, I want to tell you that how you should be doing it is based on the priorities, right? What are the priorities that we normally should have in life, right? Family, health, your mind, then maybe money and wealth and job, right? So first, that's what I'm going to do. I'm talking about my family. My family is my wife and 2 daughters, and I have 2 other older daughters and 4 grandkids. So my wife is living out in Prince Edward Island, which is 12 hours away. Right here, you can see there's buildings behind me. This is actually Montreal, downtown Montreal. It's called Griffintown. I live over here and I work here. My day job is here, which is 12 hours away from my family, which totally sucks. It's one of the reasons why I'm building a business online, and I want to build something that will allow me to get home to my wife and kids, right? Because it really sucks. They're 5 and 7, and she's basically taking care of them on her own over there, and that's really a bad feeling for me. I know that sometimes it might not seem that way because I'm so busy doing my stuff, but that's my top priority. My family, I want to be there, and I know it's not always easy to see that because as a business person, I typically don't really talk about that, right? But that's number 1, the family. Health. Number 2, what's important for me about health is I've always thought that it's important to be healthy, to live a healthy lifestyle, to not eat totally junk all the time, to, sure, you indulge once in a while, but, your typical meals shouldn't be like the big portions they have in restaurants. You should be eating more vegetables or not too much stuff that's pre-cooked, baked, that kind of stuff. And you should be exercising. I exercise just now. I just kind of started again, but I've been walking to work for like an hour every day. No, more than that, 2 hours. 2 hours a day I've been walking. That's been my commute, or maybe not, no, sorry. It's been a commute of 2 hours a day, but out of that, there was about an hour and a half of walking every single day. So I would do that every day. Now that I'm moved down here where I work just right next to where I live, my exercise walking is gone, right? There's no more walking, which is great. I have less commute, but I still need to exercise. So we have a gym in the building, so I started going to the gym. And I think it's super, super important. I see my father has trouble walking. He's getting old, but at the same time, I know lots of people that are his age that don't have trouble walking and I don't know if it's just genetic or whatever, but I certainly do feel that exercise is a big part of it. I want to make sure that I, can walk as old as I get, and I don't take on too much weight and all that, right? So health is super important for me. That's one of the things about me. Number 3 is the mind. Your mind, you got to keep your mind just like your body, right? Just like your family. You got to keep all that at the top of your priorities, right? Your mind is, for me, it's all about personal development, right? I've been into personal development since my early 20s. I mean, when I first got into network marketing, we'll talk about that in a second, but when I first got into network marketing, I got into personal development big time. The company I was with had the monthly book club. They had the weekly tape club, which was all people talking about their successes and their stories. And that's how I got into it. I started reading a book every month, right? And books on personalities, books on relationship, books on business building, books on thinking big, thinking about finances. Hey, Anthony and Lindsay, thanks so much for watching. So, I got into that, right? The mindset, your mind is what makes you believe that you can achieve things. Your mind is what makes it possible for you to do things, because you learn, right? So there's learning things, and there's, of course, like I said, just the whole personal development thing. So you should be doing that too. You should be reading a book every month, maybe a couple books a year anyways, right? It's really up to you. Hey Brian, thanks so much for watching. So that's the thing. So that's number 3. So right, number 1, what's important is your family. If you haven't heard, go back, go listen to the replay. Number 2 is your health, of course. Number 3 is your mind, and then number 4 is where number 4 comes in, is your business, your income, your job, right? What it is that you do outside of all those things, right? So for me, I've been, and maybe education can fall into that, and where I live and all these other things, right, that are really not that critical, not that important. But I grew up, I was born in Sept-Îles, which is a northern part of Quebec, if you will, on the northern side of the St. Lawrence in Canada. And I was there only until I was 6. I can't say I grew up there, I was born there. We lived in different places in Canada, and I actually lived in California for a year. I've been married twice. My first marriage, I had 2 daughters. They are both older, 24, 25, and my oldest one has 4 grandkids, right? So that's pretty awesome that I'm a grandfather, I'm a grandpapa, right? Grandpapa. And my second marriage, I have 2 daughters with them. I can only make girls, right? Apparently I have 4 daughters, right? Anyways, but so I love them to death. They're awesome. They're so beautiful. My wife, of course, is as well. And like I said, I'm 12 hours away, so I'm building business. But anyway, so that's they're over in Charlottetown. I'm here in Montreal, right? So education-wise, I've always been into computers, into entrepreneurship. When I was starting college, I was actually friends with a guy. We did things with the stock market. We did these fake portfolios. We figured out buy and sell schedules, and we bought and sold fictitious, penny stocks, and we showed that we can make money. We even wanted to start a business, right? An investment holding firm, and all that. It was kind of cool, but that never happened. Then I got in computers. In high school, we were just starting computers. They only had 1 hour a week, right? And I started that, and I was good enough. My teacher didn't care about me going to the classes. He knew I knew everything because I started the year before, and it was easy for me. And he even gave me like 100, right? It was pretty cool. I think it's a cool achievement to have been able to do that. Today, I work in computers. That's what I do. I work in computers. I'm a programmer. I'm in DevOps, which is the processes that have to do with development, making sure that developers have the tools they need, making sure the code gets produced properly and goes to testing and goes to production in the most efficient and quality ways. That's what DevOps is about. I've been doing that for like 30 years now, right? So that's kind of my thing for business, for job, or for my day job, right? After work, I do personal branding. I do personal branding, attraction marketing online, and I'm also building I built a couple of websites, and right now the current project I'm building is a website for course creators, and for affiliates to sell online courses, right? So that's clickecourse.com. Of course, you can go check that out. It's still in development right now, and it needs to be certified and all that, but it's pretty awesome to be building that and to see the potential future of helping people become successful by creating courses and selling courses and promoting courses and promoting course platforms, and all that is super exciting to me, and that's where I'm going, that's where I'm at, that's who I am. So now, what does this all have to do with Course Income Secrets? Well, Course Income Secrets is my, my platform, my education that I'm trying to put out there, the things I've learned over the years that I'm trying to instill in others and teach others about the different things you need to learn to make income from the e-learning boom. So, and it's going to be, an episode, regular episodes. It's going to be different topics that have to do with generating income online. It's not just about selling courses, because you don't necessarily have to create a course. It's not just about selling courses. It is about courses and digital assets and that kind of stuff. But it's not just about you creating courses. It's about you promoting other people's courses. It's about you promoting course platforms. It's about, teaching others and helping others to learn how to build a brand online and sell other people's courses and become an affiliate. And there's so many ways to make income online. It's not just about creating courses. Of course, if you want to create courses, we're going to show you how to do that too. But that's Course Income Secrets. And I'm Jean-Serge Gagnon, and hopefully you enjoyed this message. And if you think anybody else needs to hear this message, then please go ahead and share. I'm sure they'd appreciate it, and I would too. I would love you for it. And we'll talk to you in the next episode. Until next time, this is Jean-Serge Gagnon for Course Income Secrets. Have a great day.